Welcome to this 10 minutes of guided meditation and quotes from Richard Field's book, A Year of Living Mindfully, 52 quotes and meditation mindfulness practices. Today, the quote that we're going to use is from Viktor Frankl, and the quote is, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space, and in that space lies our power and our freedom." I'm going to repeat that. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space lies our power and our freedom. So all it takes is 10 minutes. We're going to use this quote and the following guided meditation that I'm going to offer you as a way to set your intention for the next 24 hours of living mindfully, gently, and more wisely, to cope and to thrive. So please listen to the sound of the bell to bring us into and out of the meditation. And here it is. Now allow your eyes to close. If it feels comfortable closing your eyes, it does help create a deeper internal experience and helps to prevent outside distraction. Sometimes it feels safer to leave the eyes open, so please take care of yourself and do what feels best for you. And then allow yourself to settle in. So whether you're lying down in bed or on the floor or sitting up in a chair or seated on the floor, whatever position feels best for you, begin to feel your connection and settling into where you are now. And then notice your body breathing. Notice the breath rising and subsiding, just like the tide. It comes in and it goes out. It comes in, the tide, rising on the shore like the breath coming into the body, and then it goes out after a pause. And at the end of the tide going out, there's a pause. And then the tide rolls back in just like the breath. It's so natural. And so between stimulus and response, there is that space, that pause. And it's in that space and that pause, that is where our power and our freedom lie. So let's practice with the breath, being in the pause. So try on your next inhale what it's like. See what it's like. You don't have to try anything. Just explore. Taking a breath in and pausing at the top of your inhale, just briefly. Hold it. And then exhale, allowing the exhale to be a little bit longer, if possible, than the inhale. And then waiting at the bottom of the exhale, so you're pausing in that space between the exhale and the inhale. And then the breath comes in quite naturally. It will. Breathing in again. Pausing at the top of the inhale if it feels safe and comfortable. And then exhaling again. Lengthening the exhale. Squeezing the breath out a little bit more, emptying the body a little bit more, and pausing at the end of that exhale and waiting. And you might be able to wait for just a moment longer or not, it's okay. And then let the breath come in very naturally, just like the tide rising back up on the shore. Here it comes. Pause briefly, and then it goes back out. So very naturally the breath goes back out. And then wait at the bottom of the exhale, at the emptiest part of your breath, not waiting for anything, just being in the pause. And then the new breath comes back in. And we pause briefly and then exhale out again, all the way out, squeezing the breath, it's lengthening, and then waiting at the bottom of the exhale. And then the new breath comes back in. And so just do a couple more rounds in a rhythm that feels right for you. Pausing at the top of the inhale and or pausing at the bottom of the exhale. And seeing what it's like to be in that place between stimulus and response, in that space between. In as relaxed and soft and light a way as possible. Being curious about the space. That pause, especially at the end of the exhale. Being in the here and now of the pause at the end of the exhale. What is that like for you? And just know that the next breath is going to come in very naturally without your doing anything. So there's no hurrying or rushing or urgency necessary. You're not holding the breath, grasping or clutching. You don't have to worry about the next breath coming in. It's going to happen. And then there we are at the emptiest part of the breath, allowing ourselves to empty completely as best as you can to whatever degree it's available to you. And so imagine what it's like as you let go of that breathing technique, what it would be like for you to be between stimulus and response in the space. So you're noticing the stimulus is feeling angry at your husband. And if you give yourself that space, that pause, that moment of emptiness at the bottom of the exhale, maybe the response won't be something cursive or flippant or dismissive or critical. Maybe instead, you'll take a moment where your power and freedom are in that space to take care of the anger that you're experiencing by offering yourself a moment of kindness and care. What would it be like for you? It doesn't mean that you don't want this to change. Doesn't mean you like what's happening. It just means that the power to make the change in yourself from experiencing the pain of the anger that you're experiencing, that stimulation of anger, or the stimulation of sadness or grief, before you act out on it, respond from this place. You give yourself the space. And that space can be a moment of care, heart to heart, connecting to yourself. It can be 24 hours, or it might be a few days. It could mean walking away, turning toward yourself. practice with the breath one more time so you really get a feel of what it's like to be in this space between the stimulus, in this case, which is the inhale, and then the exhale, and then wait at the bottom of the exhale in the emptiest part of the breath where there is power for something new, the newness of this breath, this new breath coming in. You might feel it and see it differently. It might be shorter or longer. It might give you a different perspective. Give yourself that space. Now try it on your own. Resting in the space between stimulus and response until you hear the sound of the bell. Thank you for allowing these 10 minutes of mindfulness in your life and for those people in your life. Thank you.